Hello and welcome, my friends. TGIF, welcome to the weekend and welcome to Virgo. It's quite the day. Not only do we have this mutable earthy energy coming in loud and proud, well, we have Be an Angel Day, and tomorrow we have the new moon. So there's a lot of really nice energies greeting us. Not too overwhelming, just a lot of fun and hopefully stability. I won't lie, going from Leo that had Mercury in retrograde and then kicking into the full moon with the Lion's Gate, there's been a lot of large energies. This more gentle, mutable, which is the chameleon of zodiac, come in and support us on that earth, so needed. Now, before I get going and I forget, I want to wish everybody who has a sun sign of Virgo a very happy birthday. I hope you have some yummy cake and enjoy your celebration and honoring you. When I was looking at the cards for this reading, I was really drawn to the whimsical feel of the Shadowscape Tarot. I love it. I hope she makes another one. It's a wonderful deck, and it's so unique because of the watercolors. I love it. And then I have, because it is Be an Angel Day, this is the Angelic Vibrations Oracle, just to add in that extra gentle, loving energy. Now, I should say for my crafter friends, this artwork, I have seen it in cross stitch. I want to say that it was Heaven and Earth Designs, but if you like this deck, her name, and I always say this wrong, Stephanie Pumanlaw, she does sell them, and some of her other pieces of art in like cross stitch. It may even be in diamond art, I'm not too sure, but you can get it. All right, let's do this. Let's see what Virgo wishes to share with us. And of course, this is the last summer energy, as in September, when we take the hand of Libra, or well, I guess the scale of Libra. Sure. We're headed into the fall. And I'm a fall girl, I won't lie. I'm going to be changing my scenes and changing things up for September 1. Just as a side note, because that I love the energy of fall. I love the colors, the smells. All right. We have Death kicking it off. We have the Knight of Pentacles in reversal. We have the Lovers in reversal. The Page of Swords in the upright. The Nine of Swords in the reversal. And then finally, the Ten of Wands. So Virgo really does want to help to restabilize you. Well, it's been a year. 2025 has not been easy peasy lemon squeezy for the majority of us. We've really felt the pinchy, ouchy edge of the Justice sword, because it is the year of the Justice. And yeah, it's a lot. And honestly, it's not that the year had a vendetta against us. It's more that the year wanted to call us on how we've been working and trying to make it a little bit more efficient than what we've been doing. We need to work smarter rather than harder. And that's why we have the Ten of Wands. Just as a reminder, this is why we've been feeling that pinch, because it's calling us on some of our crap. And many of us are like, yeah, well, but I'm exhausted. And that's fair. That's fair. That's why the Knight of Pentacles is in reversal. The exasperation, the exhaustion, and some of us, it's just like, I just can't right now. I just don't have that within me. This is why we kicked off with death. We need to start to release some of that heaviness, that exasperation, that bleh that we've been feeling. And it's not right or wrong. It's just how we've been feeling. The more honest we are about ourselves and where we're actually starting from, the better we'll be, because we're going to be able to release it. And of course, I do have on this channel lots of meditations and supports on releasing. If that feels like too much, how about this? Doing a little bit of intentional bathing. So the next time you go for your shower or your bath, so you're not adding in anything extra, as you're getting the temperature of the towel, or the temperature of the water, getting your fluffy towels all fluffied and ready, ask any and all high vibrational beings to come in, get rid of what you're carrying, the heaviness, the funk, the blah, and then go take your shower. You're breaking down the law of free will, and that goes a long way in supporting you in ridding yourself of the heaviness. Again, it goes down to working smarter rather than harder. The Lovers does talk about the communication. Yes, Mercury went direct on the 11th of August. Yeah, it was a week and a bit ago, but many of us are still having communication issues. Communication with self, understanding where we're starting from, and communication with those who are important in our lives. Those relationships are still a little bit strained. There were things that happened that weren't great on everybody's side. It's about rebuilding and strengthening, refortifying those relationships. And you need to start with yours, with yourself. Reason we have the page is the reason we have the Nine of Swords. This is some of what's causing that disconnection, the emotional mental health. And yeah, the emotions are raw. We know that. We need to use our head and have a little bit of creativity on how we're going to deal with them. Because we know they're there. That's why this is in reversal. It's just that, how do we deal with it? What now? Well, this is where we're getting the creativity on how to release it. How do you get rid of those emotions? Well, and I guess honestly, it would depend on what kind of emotion you're dealing with. If it's the teary, ugly cry, what about watching a sad movie? Let that out in a way that doesn't cause spectacle. And you can do it in time segments. You're not allowing it to rule your life. You're saying, okay, so I'm going to watch this movie. I know it's sad. I know that I ugly cry at it. Fantastic. I'm going to do that. Let it out. Let it go. If it's the grr, the frustration, the again, time sensitive, proactive things. If you're able to, maybe go for a run. I know for me, my mobility issues will not let me go for a run. However, you could go to, say, a punching bag. Again, boom, 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 boom. You get that need to get rid of the anger. I don't know why, but when we have the anger, that tactile, just banging, slapping energy. So the running, so you've got your legs going, you know, they're making contact, your hands, whatever. Make it a timed. So if you're going for a run, kilometers per mile or whatever, make it timelined. For the punching bag, you know what? I'm going to let it rip for 5 minutes and I am done. Fantastic. Letting it out in a creative way that is not going to cause harm to you or others, or again, look at causing more challenge for your relationships. Fantastic. Like I said, what Virgo wants is to create a stability where you're not working so hard, full out and exhausted, and you keep kind of pushing yourself down with more weight and more challenge, and you're stressing your relationships. So you become an island. You don't and can't do this by yourself. So we need to make sure that we have that strong, stable core where we're using our head. We're able to do the work for us and strengthen us so that we can strengthen our relationships and build up and out. So we're not so exhausted. We don't feel that burn. Many people are at a point of burnout. We need to shift that a bit. And that's exactly what Virgo wants to do. Shift things so that you're not recreating things. You're not working harder. You're just shifting a few little things here and there, and that you are able to regain the energy, regain that stability, so that as you do head into the fall, it's not a continuation of feeling the burn. Rather, you have that phoenix fire of success and rebirth. Because that honestly is what the fall feels like for me, is that it's going to be a shift. Not only are we shifting into the fall, but we're shifting perspectives. We're opening some doors. And right now, if an opportunity came and, like slapped you upside the face, you'd be like, yeah, I can't. I can't. So it's about, how do we fill your cup so that you don't feel like you're burning dry, that you have that energy to work with. And I have a number of meditations that work on that energy rebalance. Even if you're not a meditator, we get into meditative states throughout our life in different ways. So when you shower, having your phone so that it's away from you, but you can still hear it, and listening to the words, because a lot of us get into the best meditative space when we're in a shower. Same thing when we're crafting or creating. We get into that meditative state because we get out of our head. Don't force yourself to use tools that you know won't work for you, because you're setting yourself up for failure. Rather, again, it goes down to that creativity, using some of the tools in different ways that will work for you. I did well. I'm focusing in on those wins. No matter how big, or small. It will help to shift, again, from the hurt, the frustration, the fear, into one that is more of a positive. That is going to be, again, that phoenix fire to rebuild and re-energize you. Kindness. Yeah, you need the kindness to work on the relationships with others. However, you have to start with yourself first. And many of us have more kindness and compassion for others than we do ourselves. Hospitality. Does this mean inviting people over to stay? No, you don't have to entertain anybody. Honestly, what this feels is asking for the help that you need in a kind, compassionate way. It's really hard to ask for that help. And it's easy to start, rather than with your physical support team, start with that spiritual support team. Like I'd said, that intentional bathing, asking for that help, breaking down that law of free will so that you're not working so hard. You're asking for that extra, giddy up and go. You can do the same thing as you're climbing into bed, asking the high vibrational beings to clear you out so you don't feel so heavy, help to inspire you, help to rejuvenate your energy levels. I always ask, I tailor off on it, also help me remember what you shared with me as I wake up, and then have pen and paper and write it down before you get up and go. Because the minute you get up and your brain starts to activate, that is when you're going to forget it all. But when you're in that sleepy, oh my God, I got to get up state, grab your pen, grab your paper, even with the lights out, You know where the pen is, you know where the paper is, and just let your mind go. Then get up and go. Inviting the support that you need will go a long way in getting that knight back on his horse. And we need to get back on our horse. We need to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and do the work we need for ourselves. Pamela Coleman Smith, who drew the original Rider-Waite deck, made sure that he was standing still. She did that for a reason. He's the knight that isn't afraid to work on the home front. It's time to work on ourselves, time to strengthen ourselves, dust ourselves off, get ourselves back going so our relationship with ourselves is better. Will it ever be perfect? Well, no, because like any other relationship, as you grow and develop, your relationship with yourself will change. Same with any other relationship. As you grow and develop, as they grow and develop, the relationship will shift and change. So know that it's always going to be that evolution, that ongoing piece. We have the Emperor in reversal. Very much that stability, that foundation, the routines, those structures, they're kind of being thrown out the window right now. And yeah, I know that happens in the summer a lot. Virgo is encouraging you to reestablish some of this routine, some of this structure. Not all of it. It doesn't have, like, it's not rigid. Virgo is very much that mutable, more flexible-ish energy. You need that foundation. And Virgo knows that well, Virgo is an earth energy. So we need that earthy support, if you will. We have the Devil, the Three of Wands, and then the Ten of Swords in reversal. Some of them can be a little bit challenging to see, especially when they're in reversal. Like I was saying, the structure and routine, super important because it will help you with making sure that you have, well, the time, the energy, and ability to do some of this work on top of everything else that you have to do. The routine, the structure. Do you want to be so rigid that nothing gets done? No, that's the Ten of Wands, that burnout energy. You need to use your head. The Ten of Swords is a card of, well, exhaustion. The emotions, they're there. They're raw, they're heavy. And usually this is a card that has a fellow laying in the ground and he's got 10 swords, impaling into his back. And that's what it feels. We're really feeling that burn, that weight. The piece with the Ten of Swords, though, is that the sun is coming up in the background. And we do need to greet that dawn. We need to use our head and learn from past experience. Yes, we'll need to do a little bit of reflection. Where are we at? What is happening? And then also what has happened in the past and how can you use that as almost like a momentum piece to get yourself up and rolling again. The Three of Wands and, well, not really the Knight of Pentacles, because he is a knight. We do have that action energy, but we do have that slow and very stable movement. The Three of Wands is an adventure card, and it is going to be an adventure. We need to feel ready and excited for that adventure. Is this an adventure that you're going to see during Virgo? I don't think so. You may take a couple of steps into it. However, I think that as you get into Libra, you're going to get more of that adventure shift, if you will. What's going to hold us back, of course, the emotion and that lower vibrational self. Really highlighting where we're struggling rather than highlighting what we're doing well. That's why I'm saying that little shift from where are we struggling to what we're doing well. And it can be just getting up, greeting that day. Huge. Sometimes just getting out of bed can be the real hard piece, especially when those emotions are heavy. Completing tasks. Celebrate them. And it's not so much of, ooh, look what I did. You don't have to convey it to other people. It's more, honestly, again, for self. Reinforcing that you are doing good. And your examples are, what are you doing well? Highlight them. Big, small, medium, doesn't matter. When we shift our perspective and our focus, we start to shift away from what isn't going well to what is, and we're able to start to take those steps forward. We're able to start to move away from what we don't like into something that we do. And that's what Virgo wants us to do. Pull ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and get that direction and start to move forward. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me and exploring Virgo. Let me know what you're most excited for during the latter part of August to the beginning of September. And if you did like this session, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe, as I've got a lot more coming forward and you don't want to miss any of it. If you're looking for an added layer of support, I do have a Patreon page. I've provided a link below so you can go check it out. Again, I want to thank you for exploring Virgo with me, and I hope this transition into autumn goes well and that you do feel ready and able to enjoy what is to come. Until tomorrow, my friends.